I'm Takayuki Suzuki. I'm from Tokyo, Japan. I was born and grew up in really heart of Tokyo, and I never have a chance to live outside Japan, even Tokyo. So I'm really kind of a domestic guy, but I'm luckily to connect the many people in the music and the music tech space. Thank you for having me for a Primavera Pro team. And because the Primavera sounds are really my one of the dream festival to attend. And then also the Primavera sounds also they booked some Japanese artists in history. So we have some the interaction and connection in history. And also now this year, that I'm going to tell you later about some a Japanese artist called Yoasobi is going to be performing on 6th. And so I just landed last night, even like a midnight. And then so my luggage was really stuck in Madrid airport the last night. It's usually I don't know. But now so just 3 minutes before I just sitting here, so Find My told me that my luggage is in my hotel. So, yeah, yeah. But really, it's really well deserved, and really to having me for speaking about the Japanese music market in my one of the favorite city, Barcelona. So, thank you for having me, and really love to chat after this. Okay, so please call me just Taka. In short, I run the MusicTech Japan, which is a music tech hub to the support and help Japanese music tech startup to connect the music ecosystem in the global, like you guys. And also that I do really many things. Like my main the monetization comes from the consulting service, the company called Pareto, which is working for shaping the strategy and helping the biz dev for Japanese label management, tech companies, but also global companies like Deezer and The Orchard in history. And also I'm an advisor for some industry bodies like FMPJ. FMPJ is a federation of the music producers in Japan, which is equivalent for a music managers forum in the global. And also I became 3 years ago for a board of director of the JustDuck, which is the Japanese CMO, PRO, like ASCAP or the PRS or something like that. And then also that I'm really luckily connected with the global music tech ecosystem. Like I'm an advisory board member of the California Music Tech, which is based in Belgium. And also I'm an advisory board member of South by Southwest Pitch, which is an offshore pitch event of the South by Austin. I used to work at the Universal Music Japan as a head of digital from the 2009 to 2016. Which is really tremendous transition period from download to streaming. And then also the really the front door of the globalization of the Japanese music to the global. And then I worked with the all of the labels, includes international repertoire, which is really the Western repertoire. And then so one of my methodology to break the international artists in Japanese market is also the connecting with the technology and then also the startup to find a new aspect, to find a new hook to make narratives to be recognized of the Japanese mainstream audiences. So, and before Universal Music, I used to work at the MTV Japan as a head of mobile. In the feature phone era, I'm not sure how many people remember the feature phone itself, but there was a huge business from the ringtone. So I launched and run the MTV branded ringtone service in Japan, which makes some money. And then also that led to me the first visit to the Barcelona for the Mobile World Congress to present my project to the internal the MTV Global team. So this time, I think the fourth time to be visiting the Barcelona. So as I mentioned, Barcelona is my favorite city, and then I love really Barcelona food. So I'm really I'm really the keen to explore the city as we finish this speech. And also the MusicTech Japan has already established the global network, like with the BPI and the MusicTech Germany, and of course Barcelona MusicTech Hub, and then also of course California and CCE from the US and China, and then also the Japanese industry body. And I think that it would be good resources to understand more deeper about the Japanese music market, which is authored by myself for dedication work to the EMEE, European Music Export Exchange, which is the went public last year. And then also it's really same kind of month. Also, I was a part of the making the report on the business model for the new era of the music industry by METI, the economic government in Japan. So, which is more like a focus on how we can export the Japanese music to the global. So, I think I know the both side to import export. So that's why I'm here to share my knowledge and an experience. But so I would like to mention, so I'm not the booking agent or the concert promoter or any label owner. So if you might ask to me for how to get in your artist to the Japanese market, but this is not my focus area. But if you try to connect the MusicTech Japan, so maybe you can find the right partner for there. Okay, let me start with a country overview. So, as you know, in the population-wise, Japan is really huge, 124 million population, but a really aged country. So we already here in less birth rates and really matured. Average age is really 48. And then, of course, Japanese is a main language, and there are really few the people who speak in English and any other language. So few Chinese or even few Koreans and also the few Spanish as well. But if you try to get in the Japanese market, I think the language as a second language for the Japanese audience should be English. So we learned English from the junior high school. So maybe we know some of the words, but we are not able to speak in the English fluently. But in the recent kind of 5 years, so we have more tourists from the global in Tokyo because Japanese yen is really weak, and you can buy anything you want in Japan. So it's kind of a retail, the shop stuff in the retail or the cafe or the restaurant. Now I think they are okay to speak English for the really simple conversation. So this is some of the 7 major cities in Japan. Tokyo is really center of the Japan, the nation. And then Osaka is the second largest city, is original of the commerce area of the Japanese Japan. And then now, as some of you may know, the expo is now happening in Osaka, and which bring many people from all around the world, also including the music export mission from the UK and Iceland and Saudi Arabia and many other countries, also the visiting and also the plan to visit the Osaka in Japan for this year. And the Kyoto is one of the oldest city in Japan and also of the every Japanese culture. And the Sapporo is the north end city. and the other rest of the world, rest of the city is some of the major. And as you can see, there is a population pyramid from the. This is one of my favorite websites. Shows the illustrate of the population pyramid of the each country over the global. And as I mentioned, the Japan is a really matured, really aged country. It's like the volume, one of the most volume zone is like a 50 or the 45, 49. So who has an experience with the more like a 90s or the late 80s music. So which is of course kind of one of the sweet spot for that ages. And then the low birth rate makes really the less the portion of the population for a Gen Z or the Gen Alpha. Also, that's also to make ourselves to much more focus on the export Japanese music to the global, because the domestic market is still big, but it's going to be shrinking, of course, because that's why. Okay, so this is the Japanese sound recording market. So still bumpy in terms of the growth. So as a Japanese, still the Japanese music sound recording market is a second largest sound recording market in global. Of course, number one is the US. But so in the 90s, 1996, so we had double size of this market. Still, we are struggling to catch up with those numbers and those size of the market. However, so we are really experience the COVID hit, of course, as a same as other territories. And then when the COVID hit, finally, so the Japanese labels or the big management company realized we need to make all of the catalog for the streaming service. Before that, so some of the major or the top level of the artists or the artist management company hold back their catalog to the streaming because we are relied on the physical sales like CD. The vinyl is vibrant, but it's really small. The CD is really still a huge market. But it's COVID when we experienced for the physical store, it had to shut down. And then also we stopped the new releases for the physical retail. So now, we've been trying to unlock the catalog to the streaming market, so which makes much more strong growth of the streaming in the Japanese market. So maybe some of you already know Japan is a really physical strong market. Yes, it is true. I think that before COVID, most of the 30% of the only the digital from the digital consumption, and the 70% of the major from the CD products. But the last year, we've seen lots more growth from the nearly 40% consumption from the digital music. This is really the big move for us to seeing that reflected the number of the digital physical ratio. And of course, download is still small, and now they're already small, and the stream is really dominant for the digital formats. And then also, if you take a look at the number of the red part of the music videos, which means a DVD or the Blu-ray, also this is really playing the huge role in Japanese music market, because we sell the really high price point CD and Blu-ray, and then so the girls group, boys group releasing the Blu-ray for the live video for the market, and then I think the popular is the Blu-ray price point is really high, like €50 or €60. So this is really the great way to making money from the audience for the Japanese, the mainstream artists. And then also, some of you may know Japan is really innovative to selling the CD. It's like if you buy the 10 same CD, you can get the 10 the voting ticket for competition of the each member of the girls group, the boys group, or if you buy the 100 same CD to get your one the ticket to the handshaking event and the meet and greet. So this is a video the describing lots more the better than me. So please take a look at that. Sound is on? No? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna follow up with my voice. So yeah, this is the the Japanese girls group the performance, and this is the handshaking event. If you buy the tens of CDs of the same CDs, you can get the hand ticket for the handshaking, and then also if you buy on site on the mini CD, also you can get the tickets for that. And then so they are the really big diehard fan for this girls group, and then of course the boys group as well. So okay, so this is the money flowing and the buying the CD. So this video made in almost 15 years ago, and then situation is a little bit changed, but the basic dynamics for the girls group, boys group are really same. And the K-pop now also utilizes the dynamics to selling the more CDs for the K-pop groups, and like 10 years ago. Okay. And then, so as you've seen, the physical CDs are really still strong in the Japanese market ratio, but also there is a really big secret of that, because I said this is the Japan pricing gap, because in the Japanese CD, it's like 3,000 yen for the one CD, and for the Europe, I think that this is like a 16 euro. It's like a 20 euro, equivalent to the 3,000 yen. And then streaming, the monthly subscription is the same level as 990 USD or 999 euro in Japan, like 7 euro per month. So which makes 3 times bigger than the monthly streaming fee. But if you take a look at of course, US or the EU, so almost kind of same, or the little bit, just 1.5 times the higher than the monthly streaming the fee than the CD price points. So if the Japanese music market if we try to catch up the physical sales, so we need to sell 3 times bigger than the audiences for CDs. So that's why for the numbers, the Japan physical market is really strong. And also, I would like to share some kind of popular styles of the music in the Japanese market. This is not from the concrete data. This is my kind of a personal view on the mainstream music market. So number one is, as you see in a little bit on the video, so like a boys group, girls group, the J-pop, also the K-pop is really strong in the Japanese market. And recently, the mixed group of those Asian pop group is also now really vital, like a mix of the Japanese, Chinese, Korean, or the Korean and Chinese, or something like that. And also there are really many pop bands with high technique. Is really the big in Japan, like Official Hige Dandism, which is a little bit hard to pronounce in English, but they are really great in the streaming, and then also gaining the core fan in the market. And then the 3 is a gacha pop, which is also that you can scan the QR code to access to the Spotify's playlist. The gacha pop, the gacha means really capsule toys in Japan. So you can input the $3 coin, $3 token in the vending machine, and you can have a randomly separate kind of a miniature toys, like everything. And then, so this is gacha, which means so you don't know what to come, and this is really randomly sometimes a complex melody, and it's really quickly the moving from the low tone to high tone or something like that. And so Spotify describes this is as a gacha pop as of the some of the uniqueness of the Japanese pop. And then, of course, hip hop is really now become the mainstream in Japanese pop scene. Even also they collaborate, some of the artists collaborate with the US acts, like the female rapper called A-Witch, that collaborates with A$AP Ferg. And then also the Takayuki, who is the male rapper, also who works with Megan Thee Stallion, with the Mamusi. And the number 5 is Anisong. Anisong, which is anime song. So this is not the only associated with the Japanese anime, but also the more of the mainstream, the artists usually collaborates with the anime as a theme song, like recently do you know the Creepy Nuts song, like a Brim Bam Bam Bong, which is of course the associated with anime, but this is also the just a song released by established artists like Creepy Nuts. And also I would like to give you some senses from the inaugural the Music Awards Japan, which happened in 2 weeks ago in Kyoto. This is really we refer like Grammy Awards over the Brit Awards, and then there was no the awards like that selected by more like a fair and transparent procedure to the Japanese music market and celebrate the music creation. So, and the Music Award Japan consists organized by all major music industry bodies in Japan, like record RIAJ, and then also the MPAJ, FMPJ, and then the live entertainment, the associations, and then also the other entertainment bodies in Japan. So that was really successful, and then also we invited almost 50 global guests, including Leo Cohen from the YouTube Music. So, and we have really great feedback from not only from the domestic audiences or domestic market, but also the global the people. So I would like you. So there are 62 the categories in our Music Award Japan, but I would like to share some senses. So what are the international the song works in the Japanese market in the mainstream level. So the best international pop song in Japan, the nominees are the Apatu from the Rose and the Bruno Mars. They won. And Lady Gaga and the Bruno Mars, both two are still strong in the Japanese market. And Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift and Beyonce. So those were the nominees. And sorry, this is a really small characters, but the entries were selected from the year-end chart, built from the 2-month period charts, each based on the weekly rankings from the Billboard Japan metrics and UGC charts, with duplicates are removed. So we are basically from the pick, the voted from all of the entry from just data from the Billboard Japan. So this is really transparent. So which means those 3 nominees are really based on those data is how much popular they are in the Japanese market. So this is the best international hip hop rap song in Japan. Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Megan Thee Stallion, the Eminem were the nominee, and Kendrick Lamar won. And the best international alternative song in Japan, the 3 songs from the Billie Eilish and the Vampire Weekend, Ginger Root, Keshi, and Mina Okabe. So those were the nominees of the alternative song in Japan. And also the best of listener choice. Listener choice is collaboration hours categories with the Spotify Japan. And then, so there are lots of the nominees from all around the world, including the Western and then also the Asia, like Malaysia, Indonesia, Korea, China, and then also the Singapore. So I think that this is really great, great platform for the Asian music market itself. And then, so that is the video of the performance of the YOASOBI at the Music Award Japan, and also they're going to perform at the Primavera Sound on 6th from the 6:35 p.m. on the Revolut stage. So please take a look at the video of their performances. So they are working with the Sony Music, but distribute with the Orchard, and then also they, as they are part of the Sony group, so they collaborated with the PlayStation, and they made a song to dedicate it to the PlayStation anniversary year. Okay, maybe, so I'm gonna run out of time. Okay, so next topic for media landscape of the Japanese music market. But so I would like to talk about more like a social media, because the mainstream media is like a TV, but this is not something the artist who is based on the outside of Japan, it's a little bit harder to work with. But I think one of the uniqueness is Line. I think Line is a little bit some penetration in Spain, but I don't know, still works. But still, in Japan, Line is one of the main channel to engage the fans who are the followers. So, and then so the YouTube, of course, it's a really dominant medium for the video and the music. And Instagram, the X, Facebook, TikTok. TikTok number is really low, but to the making some virality. So TikTok is also the really important part of the social media as the same as the other territories. So for example, Line, so there are lots of the artist offshore Line accounts like a Facebook or the Instagram, but also even the brands like Dior, also they have the offshore accounts of the Line only for the Japanese market, and they distribute the stamp sticker for the Dior fans to access to the mainstream the consumer in the Japanese market. And the YouTube, TikTok are the main part of the discovery platform. And then, of course, so you saw the many dances are really booming through the TikTok or the YouTube short. And this is really typical for K-pop, J-pop things. And then even the recent few years, the rock from the Japanese artists also broke from the dancing. So this is really, I don't know, it's really unique. And but also the YouTube really working to be discovered, the Japanese music to be discovered in the global market, like Classic Love by Takayuki, which is released on the 80s, but some of the Western audiences discovered this song in 10 years ago as a part of the rediscover of the city pop and following to the yacht rock movement. I think that this is really great example how the algorithm would work for the old song to be discovered, like what's happening in the US and also the Europe as well. And then X and Instagram are the really main platform for the engagement. So the X is one of the main channel in Japan to engage and to be discovered in the Japanese market, social media landscape. And so, for example, like when we take a look at the Universal Music Japan, so they the launch every time for the really key artists for the Japanese market, for like Olivier Rodrigo. So they launched Japanese language offshore accounts, and then they translate the most of the some key the post from the Olivier and then also the other labels or the management and the post this to the Japanese account, and then make the more followers, the really Japanese speaking the mainstream audience from Japan to be the well known in the sense of the what she is, who she is, and what she sing. And then also the Universal International, who runs the international repertoire in Universal Music Japan, also runs the international repertoire account. And then they distribute information and also any releases and any videos through this channel. So I think the social media is one of the first entrance to the Japanese music market. And there are some of the tips. And so this is some of the tips, like don't be shy to post in Japanese. Even you are not perfect English Japanese speaker or a writer, because imperfect Japanese looks cute for the Japanese people. So you're gonna look so cute if you a little bit mistake in the Japanese writing. But also you need to be sensitive for posting the right time zone. I think now is the almost midnight in Japan, and then you need to post. If you are based in Europe, so you need to post in the really early morning or maybe AM. It's gonna be evening or the late night in Japan, and maybe that could be okay for to be discovered from the followers or the non-followers. And then also, if you try to kind of try to make a partner, also you should try to make a friend in Japanese artists or the songwriters if you resonate what they are doing. So I think that this is really more like organic the relationship with for the audiences too. You don't have to kind of collaborate instantly, but you should connect and do have some conversation directly with the social media or the maybe email or something like that. But those if you tag something with the Japanese artists or songwriters, it's gonna the work for the make more like algorithmic the work to make you to be discovered. So I think those you don't have to be you don't have to do something really instantly. You should you should take in usually checking the Japanese artists and the contents beforehand if you try to get in the market. And now also there are many music YouTubers who loves music and talk about the music. So those folks are really music nerds for the international music. And but for example, like Mino Music, who has the 400,000 followers, and also he has also the Apple Music, the radio channel. And then also the Nagano channel, he is kind of a comedian, but also he's a really music lover. He talk about lots of the music and the artists in the mostly 90s, 80s, or the 2000s. And then this ended up with the Edge, also showed up in Nagano channel as a promotion of to penetrate more like a mainstream the audiences. So I think if you find the YouTuber talk about your artist, I think that it's going to be really good opportunity to collaborate something with those YouTuber, because of course as you know, so like YouTube is really one of the mainstream the for the younger generation. So you don't have to be hesitated to show up on the music YouTuber on the channel. And also there are really few local marketing agency for the specialized for the music the area, but the biggest PR group is one of that, and they help. Mostly they help Japanese artists to be discovered in the global market, but also they can work with the Western artists or the global international artists to get into the Japanese market, because they are bilingual and they are really well connected to the Japanese music market. I think you should reach out if you have any specific plan to have a help from the Japanese music side. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the live entertainment space. So live entertainment space is of course big, as the same as the other territories. Like the revenue in the last year is 3.5 billion euro, and the total audience is 59 million. And concerts happen in Japan, all over Japan, in the 34K. So I think this market share of the international artists are a little bit relatively low. The mainstream is still on the domestic artists. And like last year, and there are 2,200 concerts happening in Japan, and the audience is 9.2 million. And but if you take up the EU artists, it's only 0.8 million, like 800,000. The audiences come to the EU artists. So, of course, this is not small, but relatively small than all over the numbers. And then also this is the breakdown by the region from those the statistics of the live performance by international artists in Japan, like the 9.2 million, and then also it's a breakdown from those 2,200. So the North America is, of course, the largest share of those happening, the concerts happening in Japan. And from the artists from the Europe is the 403 concerts happened in Japan last year. And the growth rate is almost the same than the previous year. And then, so growth area is Asia and Oceania. Of course, this is really, geologically, of course, is really near. And then yesterday, 2 days ago, so there is the Taiwanese artists also make the Budokan Live. It's a 10,000 venue in Tokyo. And there are a list of the festival, which is the same information of the European, the report for a European Music Expo Change. So you can take a look at afterwards. And of course, Fuji Rock Festival, Summer Sonic, Sonic Mania, Ultra Japan. So there are lots of the festivals who book the international artists or the EU artists here. And then also the concert promoters. Also, there are lots of the concert promoters in Japan who only works domestic, but also there are some concert promoters who works with the international artists, including EU artists. So like Kyodo Tokyo, Udo, Smash, Creative Man, and then Office Osawa is more like the focusing on the small but really quality artists like Peter Hamill and Wolfett Brednod and Björn Meyer from Sweden, and also the concert promoter called the Music Plant, who is also focusing on more like a folk music from the Europe, like this. And then recently, the Live Nation acquired the concert promoter called the HIP, Hayashi International Promotion, which is local concert promoter to strengthen the local artists promotion, not only for the bringing international artists to the Japanese market, but also they are going to try to bring the Japanese artists to the global. And the ticketing landscape is also the different. There is no Ticketmaster, the AXS, DICE, and the other international players in Japan. There are really 3 major ticketing agencies, like Ticketpia, and E-Plus, and the Lochike. I believe so. It is not so easy to work with them directly if you are especially independent artists. But there is a platform called Zaiko, who is the fully bilingual the platform for the Japanese market. I think if you try to selling a ticket directly in the Japanese market, so you can add access to the Zaiko to help you guys. Okay, so this is some of the Japanese music market mainstream, the information, and I hope you guys like it. And then also, as I mentioned, I'm from the MusicTech side, intersection with the music and technology. So I would like to talk about the later part as a unique aspect of the Japanese music and the culture. So one is a Vocaloid. So of course, as many territories as the same as the in Japan, so there are really also the happening of the democratization of the music system, like music production, the sample and mastering, like a distribution, consumption. And the Vocaloid is also the voice synthesizer software based on the sample of the voice actor. You can sing as they sing a song. But in the beginning, there was a really more like a toys or it's like a robot-like. But now the Vocaloid is really improving, unlike real human, but it's really great. But the recent years, so the audiences really like and love what they singing is really one of the new character of the singers in Japan. So, but it's also this video is described as a better than me explanation of what is a Vocaloid. This is really so fast.
What is Vocaloid?
If someone asks you this, they're probably actually asking you some combination of these 3 questions. What is Vocaloid the software? What is Vocaloid the culture? Who is Hatsune Miku? Let's go through them.
What is Vocaloid, the software?
Vocaloid is a singing voice synthesizer software product developed by Yamaha. You know how if you don't own a piano, you go and use a piano synth to synthesize a piano. Same thing as that, but for vocals. You input words and notes, and out comes. You can choose different voice banks for different voice types. And adjust these parameters to get the sound to how you want. That's basically it. The Vocaloid program has 5 editions, and currently about 80 voice banks you can use with them. Some of these voice banks come with character avatars to help them sell, some of which are these fun anime characters. We'll get back to that later.
So does this mean what you're using right now is a Vocaloid? Is Siri a Vocaloid?
No.
This.
And Siri is an example of text-to-speech software, which is a voice synthesizer, but it's not Vocaloid. Vocaloid is the name of a specific software product, not a generic term that describes voice synthesizers, like how Coke is one brand of soda, not actually a broad term to refer to soda generically. Here's a diagram.
Why do people use Vocaloid instead of human vocalists?
Well, there's plenty of possible reasons. Can't sing, don't have the money for vocalists, don't have the voice type they want. Vocaloid, cool, Miku, cute. That brings us to question 2.
What is Vocaloid, the culture?
This is a lot more nuanced. Basically, you know those fun anime character avatars that come with these voice banks? People got pretty attached to those characters, to the point of actually wanting to write songs for them, and it's grown from there. Since 2007 or so, the Vocaloid fandom has continued to grow and evolve, with producers coming and leaving the scene. A lot of music producers you might have heard of actually started in Vocaloid.
Does Hatsune Miku make the songs?
No. The songs are made by human music producers that use the Vocaloid program. In this sense, it's essentially an instrument. Attributing a song to a Vocaloid is the same as if you attributed Moonlight Sonata to piano. Let's properly credit producers.
Who is Hatsune Miku?
You're probably asking not about this, but about this. Hatsune Miku is the avatar character for the Hatsune Miku voice bank developed by Krypton Future Media. She's not the first Vocaloid, but she's the biggest and started Vocaloid's huge popularity. But if you're actually asking about her as a character, here's her character. That's it. And here's her friends. Yeah, they're all really just avatars for their voice banks, but more importantly, they're her friends.
So what's her personality like?
It's literally whatever you want it to be. Her personality, you know, is more or less crowdsourced, like how popular fandom becomes canon in normal fan bases. Except Vocaloid doesn't actually have a canon, so it's all just fandom. There's a lot more to each of these questions to go into, but hopefully this was a helpful brief overview. Thanks.
What is Vocaloid?
Yep. So I think this is really interesting part of and then the Hatsune Miku is not only for the Japanese the track maker and the songwriters, but also the some of the Japanese songwriters or the track maker is making the English song cover like Billie Eilish, Bad Guy. Yeah, this is Japanese cover, and I think that this is also the good the entrance for penetrating the Japanese audience for the Billie Eilish. I think that Billie Eilish should embrace it. And then also she made the big, I think, a US and the European tour last year. And I think one of the final of the European tour was at the Wembley Arena in London. So that was the video of that. Hatsune Miku is performing in, of course, big LED screen. And with the real band. Okay, maybe some of you may not yet familiar with the Hatsune Miku, but if you have kids, so you can ask the kids, do you know the Hatsune Miku? Then maybe some of them might know. And then also I found the video and the Spanish speaking the performer YouTuber also the covers the Hatsune Miku song. But I found this is really already played 4 million times, 4 million streams in YouTube, which is really good, right? So if you cover even in Espanol, I think that could gain this kind of attention from the maybe from the Japanese audiences, but also the rest of the world as well. And then so in as also there was in a video, but also the Vocaloid producer is more than that. So they are making for a real singer, or they became the singer-songwriter itself. And the YOASOBI I mentioned before is also the come from the Vocaloid producer, and then the track maker the work with the real singer, and then so they formed the YOASOBI. And the other, the Japanese male singer-songwriter called Kenshi Yonezu, he is also the really one of the biggest the solo singer-songwriter in Japan. But also his career he started from the Vocaloid producer, and he's gonna be also the touring in Europe, toured Europe. And then also this reimagination is also the going to China. And Luo Tenyi is also the using the Vocaloid, but also she is a different figure as Luo Tenyi, but she sing a song for the Winter Olympic Games in Beijing in 2022. Yeah. And then also there are more the movement called VTuber or the V-singer. The VTuber is the virtual YouTuber, and V-singer is a virtual singer. The VTuber does various performances, not only for the music or the singing, and also they do the live streaming or the gaming or any other etc. And also the interaction through the YouTube Live or even like a Twitch in the recent years. And then more like they are the influencers or the talent, but they are more than that. Like the one of the top the VTuber has 4.7 million subscribers in the YouTube, and then other following the girls. The VTuber has a really significant the number of the fans in the internet. And then also, sorry, is overlapping. And the Kizuna is the first VTuber from Japan, and then also she worked with some of the famous music producers in Japan and the global, and I think 7 years ago. So Kizuna collaborated with electronic music producers called W&W, and then also they released a song with her, and touring in Europe and so the US in virtually because that was in the COVID. And so she was in a hiatus in the recent years, but she is now coming back to the forefront of those VTuber game. And then also the Kafu, and she is really more like the VTuber singer, the V singer, and already who writes a song like this, and she also does the Budoba Live. She's unlike a girls group or something like that. It's like she's not dancing, and she's like she write the song and singing in audiences, but she is not show up with the real but she show up as a avatar, and then so she also changed the dress during her performances, but the dress is unreal. It's like a robot or sometimes like a monster, but she will be able to wear anything she likes. So that is a really why unique. But this is not rare entirely in Japan. The performing those type of the artists in a really major venue. So it is happening every day in somewhere in Japan. And as some of you may know, the Budokan also her performance was also at the Budokan. It's a really iconic venue, and then also in history, the many the big artists like Ozzy Osbourne, Eric Clapton, and Willie Nelson also released the live album, called the Live at the Budokan, were recorded at their performance in the Budokan. So, and then so the why I share this the topic, because the pop culture is really universal language, and this is really important to engage the Japanese audience. So like, okay, this is the example like a Thundercat. So he is a really hardcore fan of the Japanese culture, like otaku. And then so, but this makes himself into the very mainstream audience to engage more like a universal language. But as I of course check the previous panel for the authenticity is really important. If you don't like any manga or the anime, you should not collaborate with those type of things. But if you have, or if your artist has those type of the favor or the tastes, I think you can explore those type of the collaboration or the interaction or the friendship with the Japanese creators or the anime manga. Okay, that's it from me. And you can find me on the LinkedIn. Thank you. And if you, so I would like to open up the question. I have some 6 minutes to wrap up. Thank you. Okay, question from here, and Mike is coming.
Hello. Thank you very much for your pitch. It was very interesting. I'm Judith Sonia. I'm from Odyssey Music. We create electronic music instruments and want to go to the Japanese market. What we knew is that to get in, we have to go hand by hand by a person in the business in Japan. I think that you show us this, but I would like you, if you can suggest me talking about music, electronic music instruments, which will be the influencers or the channels, if I can use these channels that you show us, or maybe there are another more specific to our products. Thank you.
Okay.
Arigato.
Thank you for a question. Yeah, I think that there are some the big nerds for those electronic music instruments, and then I think so there is a importer or for electronic music the instruments and also the software, and then so I can remember the name later, but also there is a one, and then also there is the online media called Gizmo, which is originally from the US, but the Japanese editor-in-chief is my good friend. But also he is really the really nerd for audio devices on the electronic music instruments. I think that you can pitch to the Gizmo Japan, to Gizmo, Gizmodo, Gizmo. And then also there are some the audio DAW digital audio software. The blog is Fujimoto-san's blog, is which is only for the Japanese, but also he is a really good influencer into the more like the authentic the music producers in Japan.
Hello. What is your opinion about the evolution of bands and rock? In Japan, there has been a lot of success dancing bands like INI, for instance, and they sell CD albums, as you mentioned, for live stream. Do you think that AI or artificial intelligence will have significant impact there, or what is your opinion?
Yeah, I think the AI is really interesting for the Japanese mindsets, and Japanese some of the great aspect of the Japanese people is really craftsmanship, which is opposite side of the AI. And then I am not seeing any of the really the embraced AI artists or the AI the music creators yet. And then I think that there would be needed from the more like a really new aspect like the Hatsune Miku. And I think the Hatsune Miku is a really great example for how to leverage technology to be able to embraced by audiences. But I think there is no something like that Hatsune Miku from the AI.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
Just I'm Esther Thit from Talent Passport, just recently landed from Japan. I have two questions. I have more, but then I will catch up. One is like, what are your recommendations for make collaborations with brands, maybe Spanish brands like Loewe or some retails with the Spanish, but also in collaboration with Japanese ecosystem? And the other one, I visit mainly a lot of Japan, but one of my research is like, what about to do music in Sapporo or play live music in Sapporo, Aomori, in this area? Is it still like something that we can do there, like in live music for the ecosystem, Spanish ecosystem or Europe ecosystem? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really great question. And I think the brand's collaboration with the Japanese culture is really vibrant, like Loewe collaborates with Totoro, and which is really the great for also the Japanese audiences and consumers. So that makes a really big splash. And then also the welcomed by the Japanese the consumer. I think because the Loewe find the right aspect to the Totoro, which is really, I don't know, I'm not so much specialist for those high brand, but I think that Loewe's also the craftsmanship and then also the taste of the creation is really fitted to the Totoro. I think that's also the really made based on the authenticity. And so, for example, I think that you should find also the right aspect to collaborate by researching the uniqueness of the region of the music, the scene. And for example, like Sapporo has a really the great the Sapporo also broke the many bands from the really more like an international tastes, like the band called Sakanaction, which is a really intersection of the electronic music with the rock bands. So who do the styles of the craft work, and then also the really play the music with the rock band. I think this is really good example because in the Sapporo there is the nightclub called the Precious Hall, which has been really recognized as one of the best sound nightclub in Japan, and also they drove the really famous DJs from the more like underground or the Detroit techno, and which makes a really great connection with those electronic music. So I think that if you are familiar with if you have those aspects, I think which could fit. I think that if you try to do the research like that, I think that you can find the right aspect to collaborate. Okay, one more question.
Hello, my name's Katrina from Disco. We messaged on LinkedIn. What's up? What do you think is the biggest challenge for labels and publishers and managers exporting Japanese artists to Europe and North America?
Okay, so the biggest challenge is a language barrier. So few people in the music industry speaks in English. And so I think that is a really biggest barrier. And this is not something easy to come over. And then also the networking is really also the crucial point. Like I'm kind of the rare person to travel around the world to share my view, and then also the networking with everyone. And I think the most of the Japanese music industry people is really shy, even between the Japanese music industry people. So I think those networking and language is a really high barrier. But so we have, of course, we have Zoom, and we have email, and we have messaging. I think that gradually that we are now overcoming those barriers. But I think so for the side notes of the Music Award Japan, so along with the activation, so also the companies like Toyota and that organization organized the Music Award Japan, also launched the education program for the Japanese music industry people to educate them to the more like be able to speak English in the music industry way, and then also the connect and also the knowledge of the dynamics of the global music ecosystem. I think that's really happening right now. Okay, I think the time is up, and you can connect to me within, and also anything any chat after that, so that really welcome. Thanks so much.